Welcome back to my channel. This is where I want to use my experience from what I learned from your children to help you live your best life. Who or what are you giving your power away to? What's in your A circle? Well, do you have an idea that keeps sabotaging you, or a behavior that you know you're doing all the time but you don't want to anymore? When I was 5, when I went to kindergarten, it wasn't everybody else's first day, it was my first day, but they were all comfortable and they were all confident and they all fit together. And I remember going out onto the playground that day and I remember thinking, I have to fit into their spaces. And not only that, but I have to help them feel comfortable for me to fit in. Well, that took off. And that mentality ran my life. And what happens is, it's not what happens to us that matters, it's our perception of that dictates our behavior. This is an unconscious process. Okay, so think of an athlete. When an athlete came to me, when my daughter first came home, and she was 9 and couldn't do her back walkover on the beam. She said, "Mom, Sarah asked me to do a back walkover on the high beam and I couldn't do it." And at the time I was like, oh, like every other mom in the world, that's okay, don't worry about it, you'll figure it out. And she was like, that is not gonna work. And what I realized that day is that her idea of doing it and her ability to do it was disconnected by a thought process that got in her way. And when the mind and the body get disconnected, all kinds of things get between the mind and the body. And those are the things that are running our life. So it's not what happened to her that matters, it's how she perceived it moving forward that's gonna dictate how she behaves. And in her mind, what if I can't do my skill? What if my coach gets upset? What happens if I can't do it before a competition? All those thoughts then are running her life. For me at 5, I thought I have to fit into people's spaces and make them feel comfortable. Okay, when that's controlling you for 50 years, it's really annoying. For an example, when I got married to my second husband, he had 3 children, I had 4 children. My kids were like 3 to 13, and his were in the middle there. Well, in my head, I had to fit into his space. What I did, I put his needs, or what I thought his needs were, in my A circle. He didn't ask me to do that. I just did it. And then what happened was, when he didn't appreciate me, I felt rejected. Like, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. I'm putting your needs first, but he didn't ask me to. He didn't want me to be the stepmom. He didn't want me to be like the mother of all the kids. He didn't care about that. He really just wanted to support me. But I put myself into all these ideas and these roles of what I thought I was supposed to do as his wife, as his kid's stepmother, blah, blah, blah. It wasn't serving me. It was serving me unconsciously because I had to fit into people's spaces and I had to make them feel comfortable. And then what happens, you guys, is when you have something that's controlling you, the hardest thing to do is to understand that you are doing it. It wasn't that my husband was not appreciating me. I didn't feel appreciated. I needed to flip the script on that and to own my part of that. But the beauty of that is when you know you are causing your own problems, then you can change your mind. You can do something different. And what I realized is when I was young, that mentality was serving me. It helped me connect with people. It gave me so many good resources about how to read people, how to be aware of what I could do to fit in. There's a lot of good things in that mentality. And our unconscious mind doesn't know the difference between a positive and negative. Olivia's thoughts about worry and fear and what if I can't, those weren't negative, they were they were there to remind her to focus. They were there to help her. And so when I look back at how I did that, how I connected with people to fit in, then I could use it to my advantage. But the whole key is to be in charge of it instead of it controlling me. So once you can admit that this is your part of the problem, then you can get the resources out of it. That's really key. If you can get when you can get the resources out of an issue that's holding you back, or that's in your A circle in a negative way, if you've got fear that's sabotaging you, or anxiety, or limiting beliefs, or negative thoughts, flip the script on them. Lean into that. So get the resources out of it. And the way you do that is you lean into it. You learn to appreciate it. You understand that this is not your fault. It's an unconscious process. It's not like any of us are trying to sabotage ourselves. It's not like any athlete is trying to not do her skills. So when I learned how people perceive things, and that's what's controlling their behavior, well, when we can understand that, then that gives us the ability to learn about it and then lean into it and get the resources out of it. And that helps us be in charge of it, so it doesn't control us and sabotage us. And then the practicing mentality of that, which I find as a 50-year-old who just wants to live my best life, and I want to, because doesn't everybody just want to live their best life? And so the mentality to use to practice moving forward is, thank you, now what? Oh yeah, thank you, I needed to fit into that. Now I don't really need to. Or I can because I've got all kinds of resources to fit in and to make people feel comfortable. But what do I want to do now for me? How do I want to take care of myself within that? What do I need to do so I can connect with people, so I can be myself, whatever that is for you? You have to replace it with, thank you, now what? What do you want to be doing? What's important to you beyond this old sabotaging mentality? I didn't know when I was in kindergarten, I didn't know that I could decide how I wanted to be. If they were on the monkey bars, I didn't have to go, I could have just went to the slide. I didn't know A circle. I didn't know the doing strategy, the learning strategy. I didn't know goal beyond the goal. I created those strategies when I was 35 as a mental strength coach, when I was working with 30 athletes a week, every week for 15 years, right? I didn't know those strategies. Now when I look back, I could have gone to the slide and done what I wanted and fit in. Okay, so be gentle with yourself. Whatever's in your A circle is what's controlling you. But flip the script on that. Practice being in charge of it. We judge ourselves so much. Look at your situations without judgment. Decide how you want to be and move forward with that mentality, practicing what it is that's important to you. I want you to live your best life, one thought at a time. See you on the next video.